What's good? What's good? We are live today. Hello, hello. You guys will have to mind my voice a little bit because I actually just got through recording the audio pod for the last live stream. It's going to be and you've probably heard Sid say this. It's basically going to be one of those, what do they call it? What kicks my ass sessions. It's only going to be about 19, 20 minutes, maybe tops. So it's very short and to the point. But it's definitely something that I think would be good for y'all to check out, listen to. I'm actually kind of working on uploading that as we speak. So I might actually just post it into the comments. That way you can listen to it. I went off a little bit. Y'all gonna see me get a little loud, but it is what it is. Today we've got a very interesting subject. And this was another one that was suggested in the Discord. With that being said, if you want to join the Discord, let me know so I can go ahead and either send you the link to it or I can drop it in the comments here. A lot of the people who are already viewing us are already on our Discord. If you are, we definitely appreciate you. That's wonderful. That's great. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be a good avenue for us to discuss a lot of things and talk about a lot of different subjects and really get knee deep in some stuff that, maybe our general audience doesn't always want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And the perk to that, hello, Midnight Light Stars. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, Olivia989. Oh, we got Twitch people. Okay. We got a couple people from Twitch. I'm hype about that. Look, normally we don't get a lot of people from Twitch, so it's definitely good to see you. But once we get some more people in here, I'm going to play a video for you guys that was on TikTok. And it was shared to me by someone who was on our Discord. And it was about kind of covering the subject of rejection, and I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got my water with me and a little bit of ginger ale. I'm trying to kill off the water first. I'm trying to be, good. But all in all, I guess to start things off, what do y'all think of when you think of the word rejection? Maybe we should start with that. I'll actually post that up in the comments and pin that. Let's see. Question of the day. Let's see. Hello, Kiera Rob 25. It's great to have you. Let's see. Kind of, sort of. Sometimes that happens. We're still a growing podcast, so we appreciate everyone that comes out. Whether it's 4 or 5, 10 or 20, or even 100. We're just building up. As y'all can see, my brother Dark King Poet isn't with us, so I'm kind of doing it. You funny. And no, it's not greasy. It's just because the light is literally above me. Like if you could see it, it's literally on top. But we do what we can. We get by. So I'm about to post this question up for you guys, and I'll go ahead and post it up real quick. What do you think of when you hear the word rejection? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Because I want to get an idea of how everybody feels about something of that nature, so that way we can really go knee deep and talk about it. Because I'm going to show this video here in a little bit as soon as we get a few more people on here and we get things going. So yeah, if you could just answer that, and we'll read off your answers, and we'll go from there. Don't mind me. I'm actually just saving a couple things. Trying to do double duty today. Turn down on whatever the subject is. Okay. So is that something that you like, I guess from your opinion, rejection to you just feels like, you've been turned down and you've been kind of denied. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Um and the thing about rejection is that it's something that we don't like to talk about. It's something that we don't like to think about experiencing, but we have all experienced. And it's something that we don't like to think that we have done to someone else. But the reality of the situation is it is something that happens to everyone. It's something that most people, if not all people, have done to someone or caused them to experience. And it most certainly is something that we need to talk about because it is important. What's up, Keontae? Keontae said disappointment is causing his idea of rejection is disappointment causing a shame or a future resistance to make attempts again. I like that. I like that. I like that. And that that is very good. That's good. And Kiera Rob 25 said he used to hurt, but over time I got over it. But some people do not take it well. Yes. And I think what the main idea is, and I'll let a few more like trickle down so we can really solidly say this, but I think what the main idea in all of this is that rejection causes feelings of hurt, feelings of disappointment, feelings of sometimes despondency, you know, these feelings of We're just gonna use the other microphone real quick, just for now. It may not sound as good. I'm trying to kind of get it figured out on the other end. Um, but yeah, let me see. Rejection from another person we can't control, but how we control our emotions from the outcome is the best way to go about it. Okay, I can definitely respect that. Um, okay, it doesn't sound horrible. That's great. Because that's actually the camera mic. I'm hoping it doesn't sound horrible. Um, anyone who knows me knows I'm a quality nut, so let me actually check this real quick. It doesn't sound horrible. All right, cool, cool. So it doesn't sound too horrible. What's up, Kiki and Dakota? Give me a second. I had the nerve to move the freaking computer, and that caused that. So hold on. I had the nerve to move the freaking computer, and that caused that. So. He said not being needed. Not that you said you're not being needed. What's that about? Well, okay, okay, I get what you're saying. You're answering the question. Sorry about that. But yeah, honestly, when it comes to rejection, it's again, it's one of those things that, as I was saying before, we got interrupted. It is one of those things that truly does lead to feelings of despair, feelings of despondency, feelings of disrespect, like, why you feel that way about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it does bother you. It bothers you. It causes you to feel some type of way about whatever's going on, about whatever is arriving in your mind and whatever the person is saying, because even if they say, hey, don't take offense to it, you're going to. You're going to. In most cases, if you are not emotionally mature enough to really take on this new information, you're gonna feel some type of way. All right, let me see if I can get this thing to work. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to stick with this for the time being. I'll correct it later. Um, but yeah, the main idea of rejection is, I mean, it's a no, and we know how most people feel about no. We know how most people feel about being told that what they have is not something someone wants, or that what they have to offer is not something somebody wants. And in most cases, that does cause a point of contention. That does present itself as a point of contention because it does bother people. It makes people feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel like you're not enough, like you're not good enough. And that's just something that perceptually we need to work on. We need to work on. But anyway, we've got about 8 people on here, so we'll go ahead and play this little video. This one actually involves rejection in the guise of relationships. And what I wanted to get to is I want to get to the retaliation aspect of rejection and retaliation. Let me see if I can get this thing to work real quick. All right. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, I got you now. It's just some water. You'll survive. You'll survive.
I spent $1,000 on my head, you flat!
Man, come on. It's not that bad.
What the you mean it's not that bad? You threw me in the lake!
I mean, you're being a crybaby. You didn't even go that
I
far.
did! If it wasn't for me grabbing on that thing, get the away from me!
I mean, but there's a rope. I would have saved you. There's a rope. I would have saved you. You see the rope right there?
No, get the out my business! Hey, you filming me?
You see that rope right there?
Right now, you think that's funny?
No, I would have just stuck the rope out and I would just throw it out.
Away from me! I'm not going nowhere with you. I'll find my own way home.
Calm down. It's not that bad. You'll be alright.
Oh my God, I couldn't die! I couldn't die! From water? Oh my God, is that water doing that right now?
It's water. You see fishes will swimming in there. I mean, if water was black. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah. Yeah, I got you now. It's just some water.
So, but as y'all can see, literally a situation where I guess somebody got tired of being friend zoned, got bothered by the situation, or I guess whatever somebody said, or whatever the person did. I don't know exactly how he got rejected, or what was said, but it's the literal fact that this was a rejection, because some people perceive being friend zoned as a rejection, and it counts as a rejection. So, with that being said, is this really something that was worthy of retaliation? And I'm not even talking of this level, because obviously a retaliation, this is an extreme example. An example of this girl decided she just wanted to be friends with you and you kicked her into the freaking ocean. Like, you kicked her in the water, didn't question whether or not she could swim. You just, you know. And the thing that is the most damaging to me is that he's casually talking. Like, he's very casually just talking, just saying his piece, going like, yeah, well, you should just let me do this or whatever, like almost giving off the indication that, hey, let me just have it. If you would have just let me, do me the way I wanted to do me, the way I wanted to be, we wouldn't have no issues. We wouldn't have no problems, right? And it's like the fact that this is a way that things are perceived, that there are people who see this as being a healthy way of retaliating or responding. I don't really want to say retaliating because that has a negative connotation, but responding is just unnerving. It's unnerving. Like, it's concerning. It's like, man, you like, bro, why are you even being like this? What possessed you to think that anything of this nature was okay to do? Like, what possessed you to believe that anybody was going to be comfortable with you behaving in this way? Heck, if anything, all you've done is not only confirm why she should have friend zoned you in the first place, but along with that, she confirmed that you can confirm that she don't even need to keep you as a friend. You know, you acting up like this, you engage in behaviors like this, and you think that this is an appropriate response to being told no, basically. Like you're basically being told no. This is the inappropriate response. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, where they do that at? Huh? Like what's going on here to where this is seen as an appropriate response? Kiara Rob 25 said, I've been called outside my name for saying not at this time and I'm sorry. I was told whatever be and no one wanted you anyway, ho. But he was fuming. Good looking brother, but terrible attitude. You know, and when you say it like that, you know, that's usually how it is. It'll be somebody, it'll be somebody that objectively probably looks pretty good, or well, may or may not. Shoot, some of them is ugly. I ain't count. But you know, they may not be the worst looking people in the world, and they may not seem like the worst people in the world either, right? But the moment that you say no, the moment that you know it's implied that you're not interested, the moment that you say anything but okay and sure, why not, all of a sudden it's a point of contention. It's an issue. It's a problem. And I personally think that, you know, that's not a behavior that's fitting for a good person, and especially not an adult. You know, that is childish behavior. To retaliate when being told, to become very, very aggressive towards others when being told no, is indicative of childish behavior. It's indicative of childish behavior. And I think that's the biggest issue, is that you have a lot of people, you have a lot of individuals who are acting like children. You know, they're behaving like children. They're conducting themselves in a way that is not conducive to, you know, a positive environment. It has no place in normal society. And the biggest issue that I find with that is that not only are these things being done, in so many cases, these things are being justified. They're being justified. And, you know, you got guys who are, sometimes even girls, who are saying to these guys, because it is a lot of guys that are doing this, so I'm gonna attack that first. Well, shoot, if she knew how to act right, if she ain't say no, I don't know why she said it like that. I don't know why she did it like, bro, what are you talking about? You know, as if to imply that you're not allowed to say no. And that's something I have a problem with, because here's the thing, look, I hate rejection as much as the next person. Okay? I do. I don't like rejection. Nobody likes rejection. Nobody likes rejection. But at the same time, it should never be something that causes you to act in an incredibly immature manner. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. don't feel comfortable with there being people who are willing to justify these sort of things. It's something that is very problematic. And I think one thing that we need to talk about is, now that we've talked about how it feels to be rejected, I want to present a different question. Give me a second. I'm actually going to try something else. I'm trying to make this sound as good as possible, because no lie, it's bothering me. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Actually, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. But as I said, it's not perfect, but we'll just put this to the side. But basically, the other question I kind of want to present, I'm going to put it in. Yeah, it ain't what I want, but it's cool. You're funny. Okay. Now we have the second question. What do you think is an appropriate response to rejection? That is the second part. That's the retaliation in. And rejection and retaliation, admittedly, the artist in me kind of went for the alliteration. I'm not gonna lie about that. I went for the alliteration end of it. It makes it interesting. It makes it interesting. But honestly, what I'm hoping is that retaliation doesn't become, the actual way to go for this. That retaliation becomes the thing that we don't want to do, that we don't want to try, because that is a very unhealthy behavior. So the thing I want to put to you guys is, what do you personally think is an appropriate response to rejection? And it doesn't have to be to rejection of, one particular kind, like like a rejection of, like a relationship, or a rejection of a friendship. It could be anything. Rejection can be you getting fired from a job or not being considered, right? Keontae Smith says self-reflection. Take time to process the rejection, even in the moment. I like that. You be dropping jewels, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Also, happy early birthday. Brother here is going to be celebrating his birthday, I believe, on Tuesday. Yeah, your birthday's going to be on Tuesday. So yeah, definitely send early happy birthday messages in the chat. If you do need any camera work done, or you just need a fresh little lineup, he's your man. Does good work. Oh, of course. Look, we shout out our own here. You know what I mean? If you got things to promote, we have no problem with that. We all want to build. But I think that, like you said, self-reflection is good. Self-reflection is definitely important too when it comes to dealing with rejection, because rejection is something that you have to process, because it is a and this might sound cliche, because I know we call a lot of these things this. I know we label a lot of these things this. Rejection is a traumatic experience for some people. And I know that doesn't always sound, I know that sounds cliche. I know it does. Excuse me. However, we have to look at the reality that most of the people that have these negative and very extreme retaliations towards rejection are not emotionally mature as they should be. So we have to look at it from the perspective of somebody who is not emotionally mature. And with most people that are not emotionally mature, things that we may consider, that those of us who are emotionally mature may consider as an annoyance or a minor bother or whatever, it is considered traumatic. It's almost as if you're dealing with a child, where a child will see no or a rejection as traumatic, at least in that moment, and they will react accordingly in that moment. So we have to look at it like that. We have to look at it like that. And you're right. Self-reflection for the emotionally immature is an ideal thing to do. Honestly, self-reflection for anybody is. But for those who are truly emotionally immature and who do not have a full understanding of how to process their emotions and how to handle rejection and how to handle someone telling them no, self-reflection is needed and is necessary, because if it's not done, if they act in the moment, as we've seen, if they act in the moment, problems do arise. Things become very difficult for whoever said no. Like, it can either go from the idea of what Kiara Rob 25 was saying, where you might get cursed out, you might get called out your name, you might get told certain things or said that, you dumb, or that, I didn't want you anyway, the reflections. Now you're getting people trying to, project those insecurities onto you. Now they're saying, since, you didn't want me, well, I ain't want you anyway. Now you're seeing cognitive dissonance. That's the cognitive dissonance that comes with the traumatic emotional response from those who are not emotionally mature, because they don't want to deal with the dissonance of the traumatic experience. They double down and flip on you and will come at you and say, well, I never wanted you. So instead of them processing the rejection and maybe thinking about why the rejection happened, or maybe considering, maybe she doesn't want a relationship, maybe she doesn't want to be talked to, maybe she's just had a long ass day and she wants to go home. Instead, we flip it on somebody, and instead of being like, well, I'm not rejected, I'm rejecting you. I'm telling you that I never wanted you. I was just playing to make you feel good about yourself. But since you don't want that, since you obviously don't appreciate my adoration, you just ho-ho anyway. You ugly anyway. Don't nobody want you. Why would anybody want you? And again, this is something that comes from people and individuals who are either already in a constant state of emotional immaturity or are experiencing a moment or a momentary lapse in their emotional maturity. And we actually did a video about emotional maturity and the importance of it. And in some ways, this is kind of a part 2, because rejection, when you're told no, it shows and brings out things that imply your true self. I heard a wise man once tell me, it's like, look, if you want to know who your real friends are, if you want to know who's really got your back, if you want to know who really cares about you, tell them no once. In fact, tell them, and I double down on it and say, tell them no a few times, because maybe that one time, they'll be in denial and they'll be like, oh, well, he ain't really mean that. She ain't really mean that. Next time I'll get what I want. It's all right. It's all right. But once you get to that second and third time, then all of a sudden you start seeing the real person. Not the person who just smiles in your face because they want to be cool with you. They want to be down. They want to be, they want the benefits of your friendship. Now that there is no benefits, all of a sudden there is no friendship. Now that there is no benefits or no implied benefits and there's no end game, like in the video, now that there is no end game because you've been friend zoned, which means you're basically, your relationship is stagnated in your mind. Well, there's no reason for us to be cool anymore, Well, since you don't like me like that, then, well, I don't need to protect you. Because what that video says to me is, since you don't like me like that, I don't need to be considerate of your safety. I don't need to be considerate of your needs. I don't need to be considerate, and that includes your basic need to breathe, your basic need to survive. And it sounds extra. I know for some people, they're like, man, that's a little much. You're reading a little too deep into that. But honestly, if you look into it, there have been stories of women who have flat out been killed because they told somebody no. Hell, some of them weren't even told no. Some of them were told maybe not, or not right now, or I'm not interested in a relationship. Not interested in you. I don't want you. I don't want nobody. So it's one of those things of individuals already having, because it's not just men. It's not just men. There are some women, but the responses have been a lot more aggressive with men. And we know this. It's that you already have this inner pretension that you giving someone your time and energy is supposed to automatically lead to a reward. And Kiera Rob 25 says, why it got to be like this? The hurt is real and people are reacting so extremely. And some of it, I think, again, is like what I just said. There are people who pretentiously believe that their adoration of you or their appreciation of you, either in that moment or over time, is automatically due a reward. They believe that because I gave you the time of day, because I said something nice about your outfit, because I treated you to lunch or bought you dinner, or we hung out and we did the thing. We did all these things. And although you made no verbal contract that if I do this for you, you'll do this for me, I'm thinking in my head, oh, I'm about to get some. Let's be real. Oh, we about to get it in, I bought her dinner. I got her some clothes. I did some nice stuff for her. Oh, we in there, All I got to do is a couple more things and I'll make it over the finish line and we go together. And then when it doesn't happen, because admittedly, there are moments, everything comes in twos. So there are moments where this does work. There are moments where this does happen this way. There are moments where relationships are treated as transactions. And it does work. But that is not a hard and fast guarantee. And the problem is there are many who believe that it's a guarantee. There are many that believe that the natural order of things is that I do this for you, and all of a sudden you got to do something back for me. Kindness is not automatically intended to be reciprocated. Let me say that again. Just because you do something kind for somebody, let me simplify that, because sometimes I get too deep. Just because you do something kind to somebody does not mean that it automatically demands reciprocation. It doesn't mean that somebody has to do something nice back to you. It doesn't mean that you automatically have to get a reward. There is no reward system to life. There is no reward system to life. There might be in schools, there might be in certain jobs, there might be in certain institutions, but in real life, there is no reward system. You can be as nice as you want to be to somebody and they can still turn around and flip you off. They can still turn around and turn on you. They can still talk you down like a dog the moment you walk off. And frankly, as wrong as that seems, they have no obligation to be nice to you. They have no obligation to treat you right. They have no obligation to do something right by you because you did something right by them. And once we come to understand this truth, the concept of rejection, at least from people, is easier to digest. The concept that rejection is something that exists in life naturally, is easier to take when you realize that not everybody got to give you something just because you gave them something. You know what I'm saying? No one owes you anything. No one owes you anything. You don't owe anybody anything. And again, it goes back to the concept of emotional maturity. Emotional maturity dictates that we understand that some things do not come standard. Okay? That's not saying you shouldn't be a good person either, because that's the other part. I think let me go back. Let me go back and look at this because somebody said it, and I like the way it was said. And it might have been you, Keontae. Yes. Disappointment causing a shame or a future resistance to make attempts again. And I want to tap in on the future resistance part, which is now because you've been rejected because someone didn't respond in the way that you thought they should, that you assumed was the way it was supposed to be responded to. Now you don't want to do it no more. You open the door, like case in point, you open the door for a lady and she ain't turn around and say thank you. Or look at you and, smile. Now you don't want to open doors for girls anymore. Because, somebody told you no. You know what I'm saying? And what's good, Cedric? What's good? But, and that's the thing. Like, there's no such thing as a reward system. There just isn't. Kier Rob 25 says, does rejection have similar steps like grief? I don't know about grief, but I feel like it has similar steps to denial. I could see, I don't know for sure, honestly. That might be something we could all look up together. I could see rejection having similar steps to grief. I could also see rejection having similar steps to denial, depending on how it's, perceived by a person. But honestly, I see where you're going there. I see where you're going there, though, because you're right. It's a process. And like Keontae said, reflection is important. Take a moment, chill, sit down, shut up, don't yell back at the person or whoever or whatever, and take a moment to process why you got rejected and whether your rejection is actually a rejection. Sometimes no is not right now. And I'm going back to the concept of no because the most basic example of rejection that I can present is someone telling you no. And the problem is a lot of us are so afraid to hear no that we hear not right now and we perceive that in the same way as no. We take no out of not right now, and that's all we hear, right? And if you really take a moment to realize so many rejections in life are not right now. Not at this moment. Maybe what you want out of that person isn't for you. Maybe what you wanted from that job that told you no wasn't for you at this moment. Maybe you could come, but you could come back, right? Maybe you shot your shot and you missed. Okay, so what? Still goes on. There's other people around. Maybe somebody else might appreciate you or not. Maybe the person you approached isn't interested in small talk, relationships, or being friends. You know what I'm saying? There's an interesting thing I saw with a little kid. She was 5, and she was the type she like come up with games and do things like this. And she ran up to, and she had a habit of running up to kids and being like, "Hey, you want to play?" And there was one time, in most cases, kids will usually go along with it and be like, yeah, let's go play, let's go do this. And she goes off. She's like, yeah. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna play this type of game. You're gonna be a lava monster, and I'm gonna be like a chicken running away from you, like something random like that, because it's a kid. What I noticed though is in certain cases, this same kid will walk up to another kid and be like, "Hey, you want to play?" And the kid either doesn't respond or they're like, "No, not right now." Right? It's not a no, it's a not right now. Because kids love to play, but maybe at that moment that kid's doing something else. They're preoccupied, right? And then I noticed she waited a little bit. She chilled for a little bit. She didn't bother him. Then she went back and goes, repeat the question again. "Hey, you want to play with me?" And then it's like, still kind of it's a no. I don't even think the kid was paying attention. Like he was in his own world, right? And then about 5 or 6 more minutes passed. She went on about her business, did what she's going to do. And then she came back again and she's like, "Hey, do you want to play with me?" And we're like, "Hey, I don't think he's interested. I don't think he's interested." Right? And again, maybe, just maybe, and this is just shooting in the dark, maybe not. Maybe if she had left it alone after the first time, maybe he would have came to her. Or maybe somebody else would have showed up on the playground and would have wanted to play with her, right? And I say that because that's an example. It's a very small example of how a lot of us view rejection. The amount of times you try does not have any bearing on the ratio of how many times you are going to succeed. I know that people say you miss every shot you take. You miss every shot you don't take. But at the same time, some shots are not worth taking. If you shoot and you brick, that's okay. Leave it alone. That doesn't mean treat it like a shooting contest and you got 10 balls and if you're making 8 out of 10, you win. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? Or being like, "Well, I'm at least get 1 in." You're doing the same thing. That's the definition of stupidity and insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting an opposite or different outcome. So going back to the comments, Kiera Rob 25 said, "I rejected the guy because I was in high school and just going to get lottery tickets for my mom. An In-N-Out mission. I could tell he was in his early 20s and just wanted one thing. Plus, yelling, 'A girl in the green shorts' is not appropriate nor appealing." Exactly. And sometimes what it is sometimes the reason you get a no is because it's not that you shot your shot and somebody had the nerve to brick it or to block it or to be like, "Nah." It's maybe your approach is wrong. Maybe your approach is wrong. And again, it goes back to what Keontae said. I'm going to keep referencing this, bro, because that was a gold nugget. Go back, review. If you was this dude who was going like, "Hey, girl in the green shorts." First off, if you're in your 20s and you see a high school and you see somebody who's clearly in high school yelling out, "A girl in the green shorts," is neither appropriate or legal. So maybe, just maybe, you need to let that be a no and go on about your business. That's another subject for another day. There's a reason why there's some of these couples where the girl is 30 and the dude is 45. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And they got 10-year-old kids, okay, or 12-year-old kids. We're not going there. But go back and reflect. Refine your approach. You know, it's not like the instructions on a shampoo bottle where you apply, rinse, repeat as many times as necessary. That's not how this works. That's not how real life works. What you do is you try it. If it doesn't work, go back, review what you did, review their response. Think about how their response tied into into what you said or did. This is the same thing with job interviews too. It's the same thing with job interviews. Take a moment to review what went wrong. What went right too. Double back once you figure it out. If it's something worth approaching again, approach it again, but from a different angle. If it's not worth approaching, you better be honest with yourself about it and don't. Cedric said, rejection builds character, period. Hearing no to anything that you're perusing can be discouraging. How you approach that situation next time after you've been knocked out, you have a different strategy. Thank you. Agreed. Kiki Nikodu said, yeah, when people don't know how to handle their emotions, like, sir, you could be frustrated. You're not about to get no play, but calling me out my name ain't it. Exactly. And the problem is sometimes your responses turn a not right now into an absolute no. You know what I mean? Look, we was all kids. We all had something that we wanted. You know, say you was going to the store, because I know me and my cousin had numerous moments like this with our granddaddy. We go to the store and we'd be like, Papa, we want this. Hey, I want this. What about this? Can we get this toy? When he'd be like, we'll come back another day. You know, and I ain't gonna cap. He said that a lot. Like, there were some times and we called him out for it. Another day never happened in some cases, right? But because we were so persistent about asking over and over and over and over and over and over and over, like every time we came with him, it got to the point that another day stopped happening. And before we even got in the door, the first thing he look at us and say is, hey, I got this list. We going down the list. And that's all we getting, and we out. Don't ask for nothing. That's the difference between a not right now and a no. Right there. And the only reason it became a no is because we kept trying to approach it from the same exact angle over and over and over again because we didn't want to accept the rejection. So now that not right now became a no, which means don't even bother asking. Instead of, maybe not today. We ain't got the money right now. I'm not feeling that. Let me go back. You know, let's talk to your grandma. We'll see. You know, we'll see. Now it's don't even ask. Don't even ask. And that's what people don't understand. And what you notice is with a lot of people, and these are adults, once you get to the don't even ask, oh, now they mad. Now they heated because now they feel disrespected. Now they feel like, how dare you tell me that I ain't allowed to ask you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, as kids, look, we just took the L. I ain't gonna care. I guess we handled it right because we just took the L. We just stopped asking. You know. But you know, it's funny when we stopped asking, after a while, every now and again, he'd feel froggy and we might get some. Wasn't always what we wanted because, you know, look, when you tell an older person, no cap against, nothing against older people, but you tell an older person, hey, I want a transformer, all they see is a robot that turns into something, and unless you point it out and put it out in fine print exactly what it is, you're going to mess around and get something from the dollar store. Look, I have gotten a few different dollar store transformers in my time as a child, okay? And I mean, but, it wasn't a rejection. It was an attempt at a yes, so I guess it counts. But that's just funny. But realistically, right, boy, we had to get him together. We had to put him on game. And the funniest thing is, instead of us getting mad and being like, some pretentious kids be like, that's not it. What's wrong with you? You're stupid. No. Because think about approaching that the same way that some of these adults do when they get something that's a knockoff or they don't get the yes they want. The hell wrong with you? You stupid. We would have got that. We never got our point across. The reason we got our point across is we were like, hey, Papa, that's not a transformer. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's a big giant robot, ain't it? Yeah, but that's not it. Okay, then what is it? And then we show him, and he's like, oh, it looks the same to me. So, and at that point, we're able to engage in a dialogue and be like, hey, this is what we want. This ain't it. Now he knows, okay? So now he knows. Now he knows to take us with him. And that's what we started saying. Look, if you plan on getting us something, just take one of us with you. We will tell you what it is, right? Now he knows how to do it better next time. And we have graduated, and just like that, we have graduated from a not right now, devolved back to a no, went back to a kind of okay, and now we got a yes. And yes, did it take a while? Oh, God, yes, but we got it. And it didn't work out like that every time. Some of those no's stayed as no's until we got some money and we could get what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the different approach. The brother saved us some money, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to the store. Oh, well, we going to the store, boy. I ain't getting you nothing. No, I'm getting it. Oh, all right. That taught us something. That taught me something. If I want what I want in the way that I want it, I need to make sure that I have the means to get it, because I can't expect someone else to get what I want the way that I want it. Their expectations aren't mine, right? And again, that goes back to dealing with rejection. In so many ways, refining your approach, like Cedric said, finding a different strategy, getting back up after being knocked out is a hallmark key to dealing with rejection and hopefully getting to what you actually want. Getting to what you actually want. Because what's funny about that is I heard an evangelist say this once. I actually seen the same lady about yesterday and today. It was funny. She said, yeah, everybody ain't you. Exactly. It was funny. She said that. And she said, and not everybody on here, is either Christian or believes in God, but just bear with me on this example. Sometimes, she said that sometimes y'all ask God for stuff and you're not ready for it. You can't handle it. You can't deal with it. He knows you're not ready for it. You can't handle it. And you can't do nothing with it. You have nothing. You can't support it, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, what the kicker is when you do that over and over and over and over again, and then you mess around and get it. Case in point, example, say you asking God or you asking somebody, I want a car. I want this car. I'm going to get this car. I want this. I was like, what type of car you want? I want this Mercedes Benz, bro. I'm getting this Benz, bro. I'm going to get this Lexus, whatever it is, right? And you've been grinding for it, bugging, going off everything, praying every day, every night, whatever, what, right? And one fateful day, you get it. You got it now. You're riding in that E-Class. You feeling good, right? Until a month passes. Because you know you ain't buy that. Now you got to pay the payments. Now you looking at this big, huge bill, and your money looking funny. And you getting hurt because here's the thing. Once you get that car, now you got to get insurance. Now you got to get plates. Now it has to get regular oil changes every 3-4 months. Now you got to put gas in it. You know, you have to do things. You have to maintain it. And after about a few 4 or 5 months of this, you get sick of it. You tired. You like, man, I'm broke. I don't even want to drive this thing nowhere. It sucks up gas. It keep breaking down. I don't know what's wrong with it. I didn't hit a nail. Now I got to get a new tire. I don't want to pay for no new tires. I ain't saved no money. Now you're sitting there hurt, but you got what you wanted. It wasn't for you at that moment. It wasn't for you. Doesn't mean it's never going to be for you. It wasn't for you at that moment that you wanted it. And like I said, every now and again, because that's how you get, how you think you get all these dudes and all these ladies who end up with crazy baby daddies, crazy baby mamas. Because they went for something that they thought they wanted. Turned out that it wasn't for them at that time or ever. And now they have to pay the cost to maintain what they got. Now you got to deal with some crazy nutcase blowing up your phone for the next 18 years of your life, whether it's a girl or a guy, because I've seen examples of both. And the first thing you probably question every waking moment of your life after that is, why in the hell did I deal with this person? What did I see in that? Why did I want that so bad? And this is why we shouldn't be afraid to know. This is why we shouldn't be afraid to know. Because sometimes, one, as we said, just to review, one, sometimes it's not a no. Sometimes it's a not right now. Or a not this one. Two, sometimes it's a no or a not right now or a not this one because you're not ready for it. Because you're not built for that yet. You're not prepared for that yet. It's not that you're not good enough. Either it's not ready for you, you're not ready for it, or there's something better on the horizon that's waiting for you that you don't even know to pursue yet. That's why it's a really problematic thing for somebody to get too used to getting what they want every time. It's a very problematic thing for somebody to get told yes to everything. Because what you realize is it's not always for you. Let's be real. You know, some of us is raised, I was raised old school. There was a few, look, we all know there was something that our folks told us no to leave me alone. Leave me alone. I know I'm in preacher mode. I can't help it. It's in my blood. We all know that there's something we got told no by our parents about. 9 times out of 10, it was stupid. It was something like, don't touch the stove. Leave the outlets alone. Don't touch that. Don't mess with that. You'll get hurt. Blah, 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 right? And, well, we do it anyway. I ain't never touched the stove because that was an L I just didn't want to take, okay? I witnessed L's in most cases, all right? Most things I avoided because I witnessed my cousin take L's, and I was just like, yeah, that don't look like anything I want. So I had that benefit, right? But I ain't gonna cap. There was one time when I was a kid, I had a fascination with keys. I don't know why to this day I thought this was a good idea. I was obsessed with trying to find ways to open doors and to get into everything because I knew keys could do that. I don't know why to this day I thought that it was a good idea to try to stick a key in an outlet. Let's just say that only happened once. Didn't get zapped by it, but I saw that thing go like a little, it went off like a freaking firecracker, and I was freaking out, bro. I was like, oh, okay. All right, never doing that again. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You notice sometimes your folks, your parents or whatever, they'll let you just go do something stupid. Sometimes they will let you go do something stupid because they know what you're going to do. And since you want to say pastor, this is the prodigal son story. What he let that nigga do? What he let him do? He let him take the money and go off and screw off and do whatever he wanted to. Then when he went broke, got hurt and was downtrodden and came back, he was like, all right, you didn't learn your lesson. Come on. Come on. We're going to get you some clothes. We're going to get you together. I just need you to learn that lesson. You know what I mean? You got to be careful what you ask for. You have to be very, very careful what you ask for. You might get it. Not because you won't get it. It's because you might get it. And sometimes what you think you want is not for you. You know? Heck, there's jobs that I know I should have gotten that I never got. I applied to freaking Walmart and got rejected. But again, now that I think back to it, would I have really wanted to work at Walmart? After all the horror stories, and this is nothing against Walmart, but just honestly, look, we know the ledge. After all the horror stories I've heard about that, no. You know, had ones always had my mom always telling me when I was a kid, it's like, well, such and such has a job. He's like, yeah, where they work at? Oh, he works at Grandy's, bro. I ain't working there. I ain't working fast food. And that wasn't me being pretentious. She thought I was being pretentious. And I explained it to her. I was like, no, mama, what you don't understand is I got like 4, 5, 6 different friends that work at restaurants or work at these fast food establishments, and all they tell me is horrible things. I don't care how much money they offering me. I'm not about to sit there and have nobody throw nothing at me. I know me. And as a kid, I had an angry streak. There ain't no way. Look, most people that know me know that I would not survive in a fast food environment. I dodged that bullet of my own volition. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew that wasn't for me. It didn't matter if I was gonna make a little bit of money. So what? Money don't stop you from wanting to jump through a window and beat the snot out of somebody, or you getting out your body and doing something stupid. Right. Look, I had a job, and you ask Kiara Rob 25 because she knows about this. Only job I ever got fired from was a job that I only held for 3 days. I didn't even make it through the training. The time adjustment was too much. I didn't have the means to get back and forth the way I needed to. I didn't plan it out. I didn't think about how I was going to do this. I just saw it as an opportunity for advancement. I wasn't really even going to be making nothing. I was technically going to be making slightly less than what I was already making. It was just going to be full-time hours. And I was going to be up all night. You know what I'm saying? You look, Cedric, I worked at KFC. Right. Look, I got kicked out of that mug in 3 days. In 3 days. Because I kept getting tired. I was lethargic. They could tell I was going to sleep. Like I ain't gonna cap. I was going to sleep doing the training videos because training videos are boring. And doing a whole entire week of nothing but staring at a computer screen will bore you. You know what I'm saying? That's the funniest thing. And the bad part is, in their eyes, I had no excuse. One, because I was a male, and I was the only male. Two, because I was one of the few in there that didn't have kids. So I had no excuse. And I said, I was like, yeah, I was just a little tired, you know. I'm trying to minimize it, you know. I can say that now. I was trying to minimize it, but like, yeah, I was a little tired. I mean, it's just a little lethargic. My sleep schedule isn't quite acclimated to this. It's only been 3 days. And they're like, yeah, well, we're just going to have to let you go. We don't feel like this is going to work. And ironically enough, the hours were going to be radically different for what we were actually going to be doing. It was going to be from 3 to 11, not 8 to 5. You know what I'm saying? So me going to 8 to 5 screwed me up, you know? And again, it was one of those situations where I wanted something so bad, God let me have it for 3 days just to get kicked out. And I remember that day I was mad. I was so pissed. And I was hurt and I felt stupid and I felt like, man, you just ruined an opportunity to advance into something you actually like, getting a step closer to what you want to do, you know, getting that foot closer on the sidewalk of the door to get in the door. Cause it wasn't even that, you know, they've been working in a group home, you know what I'm saying? And now in hindsight, now that I am doing something that I actually kind of want to do, you know, and looking back at it, I'm like, that wasn't for you. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I got it, but I couldn't maintain it. I got it, but I had not adjusted enough to be able to handle it. I got it, but I didn't consider the possibility of what it could do to me. You know? So, yeah. Again, and I'm going to go ahead and end it here in a little bit because it's been 1:13. I do appreciate y'all sticking it out with me. I know this is not our normal format. I usually got my bro to bounce off of, so today you just get to hear me preach for an hour. But again, retaliating to a no is not a healthy way to act. Emotional maturity is of absolute importance, and it is something that you have to maintain daily. It's like learning Spanish and never practicing it. You have to practice it. Just because you know it doesn't mean you always have it. You have to practice and work at being emotionally mature daily. Daily. Shoot, anybody look, and I'm sure Cedric can probably confirm this. Anybody that worked in fast food and survived for longer than 1.5 years, I commend you, because that means that either you learned how to curse under your breath like a god, or you learned to be more emotionally mature than the people you were dealing with. Because you have to have emotional maturity in order to deal with emotional immaturity. And that's just the thing. That's the thing. You have to practice that. And that's not saying that you won't have a weak moment, that you ain't gonna pop off, have road rage, do something, whatever. But consider what the end result is. Just like what Keontae said, step back, review, you know, reevaluate yourself. Figure out what you did wrong. Stop being mad, you know, stop being mad that somebody else didn't like you for whatever reason. No, review what you did wrong. Look, yeah, F that. I worked at KFC and will never go back to fast food. And look, and you having the ability to say that is a sign. Look, that's indicative that you're closer now to what you actually need. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to turn back to that. And in some cases, if you do right, you act right, you carry yourself in the right way, and you do what you're supposed to do, you can get put in a position to where you don't have to go back to that. You ain't got to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? That don't have to be an option for you. But yeah, for real, for real. But even with the jobs we have now, even with the quote unquote good jobs, emotional maturity is important because you still got to deal with somebody. It don't matter if all you do is work in a cubicle away from everyone and no one approaches you ever. At some point, either before or after you come to that job, you have to deal with somebody. And at some point, before or after you get out of that job, somebody is going to do something that you're not comfortable with, or someone is going to tell you no. Might tell you no at that job when you want to raise, and you'll be stuck in that cubicle for another 3 months. You have to know how to handle that. You have to know how to deal with that. Even those of us who are in relationships have to know how to deal with no, even being in the relationship, because some of us think, oh, well, I got him now. So now I can get whatever I want. I ain't got to try for it. I ain't got to attempt, do not. No. You still do. They're still allowed to tell you no. You can still get a no. You can still get a not yet either. That too. And you know what? Just like that scenario I told y'all with my granddaddy, you keep asking and keep pressing and keep being difficult and being a nuisance. They might tell you no for good and tell you to kick rocks. Don't mess with your investment. Don't mess with your investment. You know what I'm saying? Be mindful of a lot of things. And look, everything I say to y'all, I say to myself. I too have moments of emotional maturity. Oh, we can't believe it. He's so calm. He's so chill. No, I too have moments of emotional immaturity. Every now and again, I deal with somebody who somehow I have the patience to deal with in person. But in the back of my head or when I'm driving away, I'm calling him everything but a child of God. And be thinking in my head, I could take a trip right now. I know where this person lives. It'd be easy. But it's not worth it. It's not for you. Yes, man. It's not for you to do. And ironically enough, what you realize is if you get in those situations where somebody piss you off, make you mad, whatever, and you don't do what they expect you to, your outcome changes. Your outcome changes. I've been in situations where someone has tried to challenge me with the expectation that I would react in an emotionally immature manner. And because I didn't, either someone else stood in the gap or someone else pulled up and said, oh, well, he be tripping like that all the time. She be tripping like that all the time. She do that with everybody. Now I have a point of relation where they're like, bro, we get you. It's a good thing you did that. Or they step up and be like, well, he ain't even coming at you. What's your problem? What's wrong with you? Be careful with how you view rejection. Be very careful with how you view rejection. Some of those no's, not yet's, and not this one's are needed. And they will do a lot for your growth. For real, But anyway, we ain't gonna belabor the point. Y'all gonna hear this. Y'all gonna go back and listen to this anyway when you get bored. My water's almost done. This has been the Black in a Minute podcast brought to you by the illustrious Twyman Art, as you can see plainly. I go by NeRo AnGeLo. Whenever you get a chance, please do check out our hyperlinks, our merch store. If y'all want to get involved and discuss and have a say in some of the upcoming live streams that we have, just like this one, join the Discord. Hit me up for the link. We be talking in there. We starting to build a little community. We need a few more voices. We need a little bit of diversity. Meet some more people so that way we can really chop it up and come up with some more ideas on things to talk about because we want to talk about what y'all want to talk about. You know, we want to do that. This is a place for you to get things off your chest, for you to express your feelings or concerns or whatever. You know, this is your safe space. If you ain't got a safe space to really talk about nothing or vent about nothing, we can be your safe space. We understand, we get it. We got jobs too. We got lives too. We're all approaching 30. Our bodies hurt, our knees hurt and crap. We get it. We get it. So, yeah, feel free to jump on the Discord, hit me up with the link. We have merch. We have merch. We have new merch. I guess it's not new because it's a month old, but we have shirts, mugs, all that. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually go ahead and get y'all on that. Let me see. Let me a chance to set it on here. I'm trying to get to the ish is running a little slow, so I'm trying to get it to work. In case it don't work, we got merch. We got merch. All the links are in the description of every podcast, everything that we put out, and these things are available for you. They had discounts for Juneteenth. I'm sure we'll be having some winter discounts as the holidays trickle down and as things come up. And if there are things, phrases, quotables that you guys want to be made into shirts or into other apparel, please do let us know. We ain't got no problem with that. I'm always the type person. I be wanting to see what it look like. I need me a verse on 29. Hey, look, bro, I might have something to send you, no lie. Because I have been definitely on my hands with 29. Work got in the way. So it's been a slow grind. Like, it's not gonna even be that many tracks. So I might cook up one track and probably just shoot you something, no lie. Because you definitely did your thing on 28. I definitely appreciate that, man. But yeah, we finally got it. Here we go. Here's the merch. Of course, the usual Black in a Minute apparel. Let me see if I can't get this thing to scroll. It's acting like, don't you just love it when you're trying to demonstrate something and it don't want to act right? Hold on. I just realized that thing, Yeah. There we go. Come on. Technology, you just gotta love it. There we go. There it is. I'm not the most techno-savvy person. I just know how to edit things, so just bear with me. Usually Sid is here to handle most of this stuff. But yeah, we got crop tops, hoodies, all that. Look, girl summer is over, so we getting rain and storms and all that lovely crap. So yeah, we got merch for you. We got long sleeves. We got some short sleeves for those of y'all who just don't get cold like that. I'm trying to get to the controllables shirts, and the page is freezing for some god awful reason. Because it doesn't want me to be great right now, but that's okay. If y'all need the link to the merch or anything, just please hit me up. Look, I'm approachable. I try to be approachable. If I'm not, let me know. But anyway, that's enough shameless plugging. I ain't Umar Johnson. But if you do feel like dropping some donations, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. I think I got frozen. Yep. All right. There we go. that's even the internet telling me that it's time to get the hell out of here. But anyway, just want to say we love you, appreciate you, and I say we because I know Dark Skin feels the exact same way I do about that and about the support.